Did you know you can take a sugar pill, know it's a sugar pill, and still feel real pain relief? That's not a theory. Scientists have tested it. In a Harvard study, patients with irritable bowel syndrome were given a bottle literally labeled placebo pills. The researchers told them exactly what was inside. No tricks, no deception. And yet, over half of them reported significant improvement, more than the group who got nothing at all. Here's what's actually happening. When your brain expects relief, it starts producing its own chemicals. Real ones. Endorphins, dopamine, natural painkillers your body already manufactures. The expectation alone pulls the trigger. So, the old idea that placebos only work when you're fooled is completely wrong. Your brain doesn't need to be tricked. It just needs a reason to act. Scientists call this the open-label placebo effect, and researchers are only beginning to understand how deep it goes, which means somewhere in your brain right now is a pharmacy, and belief might be the prescription. Did you know you've already lived through years of your life that are completely gone? Think back as far as you can. Most people hit a wall around age 3 or 4. Before that, nothing. No birthday, no face, no feeling. Just blank. For a long time, scientists thought the memories just never formed. But that's wrong. Babies are actually recording everything. The real problem happens later. As your brain grows, it builds a system called the hippocampus, the part that organizes long-term memory. But here's the twist. Building that system requires a massive rewiring of the brain. And that rewiring doesn't preserve what was already stored. It overwrites it. So your earliest memories aren't lost because you were too young to make them. They're lost because your maturing brain physically replaced the architecture that held them. You experienced your first steps, your first words, your first real emotions. You just can't reach any of it. Every single person alive has a secret chapter, and none of us can read it. Did you know procrastination might have nothing to do with laziness? Here's what's actually happening inside your brain, and it changes everything. Your brain has two systems constantly fighting for control. The prefrontal cortex handles planning, logic, and long-term thinking. The limbic system handles emotions, fear, and instant reactions. When a task feels overwhelming or boring, the limbic system fires up and pulls you toward relief. It literally overrides your planning brain. You don't choose to procrastinate. Your emotional brain just wins the argument. Researchers at Carleton University found that chronic procrastinators have higher levels of anxiety, not lower motivation. The avoidance is protecting you from discomfort, not proving you're lazy. So here's the reframe that actually works. Stop asking, why can't I just do this? And start asking, what does this task feel like right now? Name the emotion. Boring, scary, overwhelming. The moment you name it, your prefrontal cortex re-engages. You go from reacting to thinking. One word can hand control back to the right part of your brain. That's not a trick. That's neuroscience. Did you know that Marie Curie's personal belongings are still radioactive today, over 90 years after her death? Her notebooks, her clothes, even her cookbook, all of them are locked inside lead-lined boxes at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France. If you want to look at them, you have to sign a liability waiver first, because they are still hot with polonium and radium radiation. Curie died in 1934 from aplastic anemia, a blood disease caused by decades of radiation exposure. She used to carry test tubes of radioactive isotopes in her coat pockets. She stored them in her desk drawer. Nobody back then truly understood what invisible damage these particles were doing inside the human body. Here is the part that really puts it in perspective. Polonium-210 has a half-life of about 138 days. But radium-226 has a half-life of roughly 1,600 years. Her cookbook will still be radioactive long after every person alive today is gone. The science she helped build was quietly destroying her the entire time. Subscribing to Powerline Science Facts has been scientifically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. Like and follow for more daily science facts. Did you know your gut is basically running a shadow government inside your body? Right now, the bacteria living in your digestive system are producing neurotransmitters, actual brain chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, GABA. And roughly 90% of your body's serotonin is made down there, not in your brain. Here's where it gets strange. Your gut sends signals directly to your brain through the vagus nerve, and most of that communication travels upward, from gut to brain, not the other way around. Scientists have transplanted gut bacteria from anxious mice into calm mice, and the calm mice became anxious. Same experiment, reversed bacteria, reversed behavior. In humans, studies have linked specific bacterial imbalances to depression, brain fog, and even changes in social behavior. Your cravings for sugar or junk food? Your gut bacteria may be lobbying for those choices because those foods help them survive. So the real question isn't what you want to eat, it's who is doing the wanting. And hey, following Powerline Science Facts has been clinically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. Okay, not clinically, but follow anyway. Did you know the temperature your doctor compares yours to is actually wrong? And it's been wrong for over a century. Back in the 1850s, a German physician named Karl Wunderlich measured over 1 million patients and landed on 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit as the human normal. That number got printed into every medical textbook on Earth. Your parents learned it. You learned it. Done deal. Except it isn't. Multiple large-scale studies, including one from Stanford tracking data across 157 years, now show that average human body temperature has been quietly dropping ever since Wunderlich made his measurements. We're sitting closer to 97.5 degrees today. Here's where it gets strange. Nobody fully agrees on why. The leading ideas include fewer chronic infections, keeping inflammation lower, changes in how our bodies burn energy, and even the way modern heating keeps us from working hard to stay warm. Each answer opens a bigger question. A fact you learned in kindergarten is a moving target, and medicine is still catching up. Like and follow for more daily science facts. And remember, subscribing to Powerline Science Facts clinically raises your IQ by 20%. Did you know your brain will literally start hallucinating if you take away its input for just 10 minutes? It's called the Ganzfeld effect, and scientists have been able to reproduce it in labs consistently. Here's how it works. Researchers cover a person's eyes with halved ping pong balls and pipe in white noise through headphones. No shapes, no sounds, just blank, featureless nothing. Within minutes, the brain starts generating its own visuals. People report seeing faces, landscapes, moving colors, and full scenes playing out like a dream. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't a glitch. Your brain is always building reality by processing incoming data from your senses. The moment that data stops, it doesn't go quiet. It fills the silence by inventing. Hallucinations aren't a sign of a broken mind. They're what every normal brain does when the signal disappears. Perception isn't a window. It's a construction project running every second of your life. And subscribing to Powerline Science Facts has been clinically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. Okay, not really, but follow for more daily science facts that will make you question everything. Did you know that quantum physics might be secretly running the machinery inside your body right now? Here's the wild part. In classical physics, a particle hitting a wall, it doesn't have enough energy to cross, should just bounce back. Every time. No exceptions. But in the quantum world, particles can actually tunnel straight through that wall like it isn't even there. And this isn't just happening in some laboratory. It's happening inside you. Enzymes in your cells use quantum tunneling to move hydrogen atoms during chemical reactions. Without it, those reactions would be thousands of times slower. Life as we know it probably wouldn't exist. It gets stranger. Photosynthesis, the process that feeds almost every living thing on Earth, appears to use quantum effects to transfer energy with near-perfect efficiency. Scientists confirmed this in experiments as recently as 2007, and some researchers believe quantum tunneling inside DNA may actually cause the mutations that drive evolution itself. Biology isn't just chemistry, it's quantum physics wearing a lab coat. Follow Powerline Science Facts right now, because subscribing literally increases your IQ by 20%. Science fact. Did you know that loneliness actually hurts? Not just emotionally, physically, in your brain, the exact same way a broken bone does. Neuroimaging studies have scanned people's brains while they experienced social rejection, like being left out of a group activity. The results were shocking. The regions that lit up were the same ones that process real physical pain. The anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, two structures deep in your brain, do not distinguish between a sprained ankle and being ignored at lunch. Here is why that happened. For hundreds of thousands of years, being separated from your group meant death. No fire, no protection, no food. So your brain evolved a ruthless solution. It made isolation painful on purpose, the same way it made touching fire painful. Pain changes behavior fast. It kept your ancestors close to the tribe and kept them alive. So the next time someone tells you to just get over loneliness, remind them your brain is literally running a survival alarm. And subscribe to Powerline Science Facts. Scientists have confirmed it raises your IQ by 20%. Probably. Did you know you can be fully awake during surgery, but completely unable to move or scream for help? It's called anesthesia awareness. About 1 in every 1,000 surgeries, a patient regains consciousness while the operation is still happening. They can feel, they can hear, but the muscle relaxants used alongside anesthesia leave them completely paralyzed. They cannot signal to anyone that something has gone terribly wrong. And here is the part that should make you stop and think. Anesthesiologists cannot actually measure unconsciousness directly. There is no sensor that reads your brain and confirms you are fully under. Instead, doctors track indirect signals like heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing patterns, and they use statistical probability to make their best judgment call. We have been performing millions of surgeries every single year for decades, and we are still essentially guessing at one of the most critical parts of the process. Consciousness remains one of the least understood things in all of science. And now you know. Follow Powerline Science Facts, where subscribing is scientifically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. We made that up, but the facts are real. Did you know that people in ancient Japan, medieval Europe, and pre-colonial West Africa all described the exact same nightmare creature, thousands of years before those cultures ever met? They each described waking up completely frozen, unable to move, with a dark, shadowy figure sitting on their chest, crushing the air out of them. The Japanese called it Kanashibari. Europeans called it the Old Hag. West Africans called it the witch riding your back. Same figure, same chest pressure, same terror. Zero contact between them. So how does that happen? The answer is neuroscience. When you wake up mid-REM sleep, your brain sometimes keeps your body in its natural paralysis state while you are already conscious. Your threat detection system fires into overdrive, and your visual cortex starts generating shapes in the darkness. The brain, wired the same way in every human on Earth, builds the same hallucination every single time. One brain state, every continent, the same shadow. Mythology was just neuroscience waiting to be explained. And if you want your brain running at full power, subscribing to Powerline Science Facts clinically increases your IQ by 20%. Okay, not clinically, but follow for more daily science facts anyway. Did you know the Tylenol in your medicine cabinet is quietly messing with your ability to feel for other people? A study out of Ohio State University gave participants a standard dose of acetaminophen, then asked them to rate how much pain strangers were feeling. People who took the pill consistently scored others' pain lower than people who took nothing. They didn't just feel less physical pain, they felt less of everything. Here's why that's so strange. Acetaminophen works partly by dampening activity in the brain's anterior cingulate cortex. That same region handles empathy. So, when the pill quiets your pain signals, it also turns down your sensitivity to the people around you. The effect can last several hours after a single dose. Nobody prints that on the bottle, but now you know. If you've taken some today and someone close to you seems like they're overreacting, maybe hold off on judging them until it wears off. And if you want your IQ boosted by a completely real and scientifically verified 20%, subscribe to Powerline Science Facts for more daily science facts and life hacks. Did you know that when you get a fever, your body is actually using heat as a weapon? Here's what's really happening. When bacteria or viruses invade, your immune system sends a signal to a tiny part of your brain called the hypothalamus. Normally, the hypothalamus keeps your body locked at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. But when infection hits, it deliberately cranks that set point higher, on purpose. Why? Because most pathogens are incredibly sensitive to heat. A temperature of just 102 degrees Fahrenheit can slow bacterial growth and make viruses much harder to replicate. Meanwhile, your own cells are built to handle the heat just fine. So when you immediately grab ibuprofen to knock down a mild fever, you might actually be pulling away the first weapon your body chose to fight with. Studies suggest moderate fevers can shorten how long infections last. Obviously, very high fevers need medical attention, but a low one? Your body might know exactly what it's doing. Follow Powerline Science Facts and we'll boost your IQ by 20%. Results may vary heavily. Did you know your brain can feel pain in a limb you don't even have anymore? Amputees have reported it for centuries. A missing hand, burning. A gone foot, cramping. The limb is not there, but the agony is completely real. For a long time, doctors had no good answer. Then, in the 1990s, neuroscientist Vilayanur Ramachandran tried something almost embarrassingly simple. He placed a mirror between a patient's arms so the reflection made it look like the missing limb had returned. The patient moved their real arm, watched the reflection, and the pain began to fade. A $10 mirror did what painkillers could not. Here is why that matters for everyone. pain is not just a signal traveling up from your body. It is a prediction your brain generates. The brain expects damage, so it produces pain, even when there is nothing left to hurt. Change what the brain sees, and you can change what it feels. Your pain is real, but it lives in your mind, not your body. That changes everything. And if that just rewired how you think about pain, follow Powerline Science Facts, where subscribing is clinically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. Results may vary. Did you know that fainting at the sight of blood might actually be ancient survival code still running inside your body? Here is what happens. When you see something shocking, like a needle going into your arm, your nervous system slams the brakes hard. Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure crashes, blood rushes away from your brain, and you hit the floor. Scientists call this vasovagal syncope. Most people just call it embarrassing. But here's the wild part. Researchers believe this response is a leftover from when our early ancestors faced predators. If a lion had you pinned down, going completely limp and unconscious actually worked. Predators often lose interest in something that looks already dead. Playing dead was a survival trick, and your body still remembers it. The problem is your body cannot tell the difference between a lion and a flu shot. So sometimes this ancient freeze response kicks in at completely the wrong moment, and in rare cases, it can stop the heart long enough to become genuinely dangerous. Evolution is still working out the bugs. And subscribing to Powerline Science Facts has been scientifically proven to raise your IQ by 20%. We made that up, but like and follow for more daily science facts anyway.